good at spectator sports, and it's kind of embarrassing because I sit right here next to the sports anchor and I'm always like, thank you. But I like to stay active more as a means to feel good. Hopefully there's a looking good component to it that comes afterwards, but it brings me energy and it makes me feel alive. So I was on swim team in high school. I skied recreationally during college. And then after I graduated from college, I ended up becoming a ski instructor. After that, I moved to Hawaii and I finally learned to surf, even though I went to high school here. And so I would go out and do that. I'm a goofy foot, so I like Queens Beach because it was small waves and a nice left break. After I had a baby, my ability to go out and just, grab a board and go surfing was much more limited. So I tried triathlon, did the Tin Man and a smaller one before that. And then I somehow found jiu-jitsu, Japanese jiu-jitsu, which is not MMA. And I really enjoyed that. I did that until I had to stop, which was because I did a morning anchor shift at KHON in 2014. So I would go to sleep at the time the practice was at. And so I did that for about 7 or 8 years. And then I found yoga, and the teacher suggested I take a training course. So I went through my teacher training course for yoga, and now I'm very slowly working my way through the practicum. Maybe one day you'll see me as a yoga teacher. I think a lot has already been made of the correlation between teamwork, because it takes a team to get the newscast together. In my particular sports, a lot of the things I seem to gravitate towards are about balance. Skiing, surfing, yoga, even jiu-jitsu has to deal with balance and putting your opponent off balance. And to me, it comes in handy because news is not fixed. It's constantly moving, and you always have to go with the flow of it. So sometimes if I get sent out as a reporter, or even if I'm sitting on the anchor desk and there's a breaking news situation, you really don't know what you're going to find when you get there. And so you have to be able to just go with it and adapt. In high school, I was on Kamoi, which is the Kamehameha newspaper, and I thought that was fun. I enjoyed writing. I also then did the newspaper in college, and I felt there's a story that made some waves around campus and even within the San Jose region. It made one of the reporters in San Jose Mercury News had actually covered something that I was doing that was kind of stirring up procedures and policy at the school. And that was the first time I got a taste of what being a watchdog of the public was like, and it felt like not only a great sense of power, but a sense of responsibility. And a lot of the college students were telling me at that time, like, well, thanks a lot for figuring out, where our tuition is going. And I like that. I like feeling like I was helping people get answers to things that were important to them. Yeah, there's a lot of misconceptions. The fact that we might make $1 million. The fact that our hair and makeup is done for us before we get there. Maybe they think that sometimes we're just talking heads and we don't really have a hand in the processes to put the news together. I think some of that is perpetuated by movies. Or maybe you're seeing, people don't really make a distinction between the network, the national news, and affiliate news, which we are in Hawaii. So they'll see that, Katie Couric makes whatever, $5 million, and then they'll think that that's the same thing here. I even had a cousin come to my condo once, and he said, "Oh, you live here? I thought you'd be in Kahala or Hawaii Lowell Ridge." And I'm like, "Nope, I'm just an average person." Hands down, it would have to be being Olivia's mom, because I have the best daughter in the world, and I couldn't have that daughter if I wasn't exactly me. I I don't know where this hobby came from because I generally like mammals, but probably about 8 years ago, somebody gave me some of those red opaiula, the kind that you would see, I would guess, primarily at the old Shirkia. And I got a gift of that. And I ended up really liking them so much that I started going into shrimp chat rooms or looking at shrimp websites and trying to figure out how to raise them. And somehow my path took me to meet some state marine biologists, and we became friends, and they invited me to join them on their little side project outside of work. I don't know, I just find them really fascinating. I like decapods now. I like just watching them. And I think the important thing for people in Hawaii to know, to care about them, because they're just like these little 13 millimeter crustaceans, right? But they're really hardy. And I think that because they survive so long under really difficult circumstances, that they're like a canary in the coal mine. So they're an indicator of what's happening in our environment. And if they're starting to die, then that becomes a really important signal for us to realize, what are we doing to our environment? Sorry, I went off on a tangent there. I really am a marine nerd. I know people get excited when I say I raise shrimp because I have 2 tanks, probably about 2,000 shrimp. And they're like, oh, do you eat them? And I'm like, no, don't say that. I raise them.